Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1564 of our daily content grind. So I kind of felt like flexing my creative muscles a little bit here today, so we brought back the Wheel of Alt modes. If you have not seen this format before, I have two wheels here, one that is filled with transformer names, one that is filled with potential alt modes. The idea is to spin both and see what exactly we get when we combine the two, and then I have to figure out how to make it work based on character design, personality, power set, whatever I kind of feel like at the time. But we have to make it work. So today, I have a wheel full of G1 cassette formers, specifically the major ones. I didn't get into like offshoots like Flipsides and Rosanna, and I tried to keep it to just the ones that made sense for this list. So you're not going to find Grand Slam and Rain Dance because they turn into vehicles. And the whole idea here is to do what we have done with Ravage, Laserbeak, and a handful of others in the past, which is to upgrade them into full-size Transformers with full vehicle modes of their own. So we're going to figure out how that is going to work today. So let's get started, and I will give the names a spin. This is completely random. I have not weighted this wheel in any way, shape, or form. And we're just going to flat out start with Ravage, who we've already acknowledged has had this before. Alternators gave Ravage a car mode, and we've seen Ravage get, a couple of weird things here and there. Let's see, what do we... Oh, Ravage as a jet. Ravage as a jet. I don't think this is much of a struggle here. Like, Ravage has to be a stealth bomber, right? I mean, they're equipped with missiles. They're a jet black transformer. Their whole thing is stealth and sneak. So stealth bomber feels appropriate for him. I can't imagine the cat taking off and flying. But that said, that feels like it fits. It feels like it fits. There's a few other things, but I want to hold on to those for a few other potentials here. But I like that. I like the idea of him as a stealth bomber. That works for me. And that's how that goes. Sometimes it's as quick as that. Sometimes it's very easy to come up with something. Now I have to figure out something for Slugfest. We now have to figure out what a little Stegosaurus transformer has to turn into as a full transformer. What will your vehicle mode be? Oh, it's going to be nice to me. It's going to be nice to me and do something Cybertronian. Okay. So if we're going by... And there's like, I didn't add construction vehicle in there because I'm just now realizing I didn't put construction vehicle, which is okay. I don't think the cassettes could turn into convincing construction vehicle toys anyway. But what has me in mind is to use those spines of the Stegosaurus mode and almost like a wheel excavator, almost similar to what Cybertron Metroplex looked like. I mean, I even like the name Slam Dance for something like that because, like, it feels like that's what's happening. Or Slugfest. That feels like what's going on. It's just slugging the ground with its gigantic wheel. And that lets you get the spines in. It lets you get in a little bit. It makes him feel a little Sonic the Hedgehog, but I don't know. I think I like like a big trench digger. I think that would work for him. Like a big Cybertronian... I guess metal harvester, which sounds terrifying when I phrase it like that. All right, what else we got here? What is next? Eject and Rewind. Okay, so the robots here, some of the ones that are repaints from each other. So Rumble Frenzy, Eject, Rewind, Laserbeak, Buzzsaw. I put on the same wedge because they're gonna turn into the same vehicle mode no matter what. Okay, so we have Eject and Rewind to work with. What do they turn into? Or what do I have to turn them into in order to make sense? Oh, we're turning them into space vehicles. Turning them into space vehicles. These are, like, more than the other cassettes, these are a little bit more known for recording. Mostly because their functions tend to be historic. When we've seen them, they have been... mostly used for like a lot of times their depictions focus around like memory and archaeological stuff. So I could see them more along the lines of maybe some kind of satellite. I feel like satellite's going to be cheaping out on this. I kind of feel like it's a cheap answer for some of these, but in the case of these two, it does feel correct because I primarily know them as information gatherers and record keepers. So I will go with that. I'll go with that. As space vehicles, I think satellites would work best for them. Not the gigantic ones that like Soundwave turns into, more like the normal ones, you know, just like a little like probe with like solar fins coming off. Squawk Talk. Okay. We got a light blue bird. So what does a light blue bird turn into? And if Jet comes up, I have a very easy chance here. No, is it? Nope, it's gonna go Cybertronian again. Cybertron, like bird transformers typically end up as some kind of like space jet on Cybertronian designs, don't they? That feels easy. That feels a little bit easy. I'm not sure how to twist that up though. Like that's absolutely something that I would really want to twist into. But he is a flying beast. He would be some kind of Cybertronian jet. Like maybe like a little one-man fighter. Like nothing like Cyclonus is, you know, like this like Cyclonus is a one-man fighter, but you know, like I mean like short-range reconnaissance. And like just like orbital combat, nothing that could fly into deep space or hit hyperspeed or anything. Something small and compact, you know, like almost like TIE Fighter-esque. Short range, that kind of thing. Like that's where I would be on him. Especially because, you know, it's a bird. Well, I guess a bat would have shorter range than the bird would. So like let's save that thought just in case Ratbat comes up. Ratbat's probably the one that's had the most alt modes on this. He's had quite a few Transformer toys that had like robot modes. Okay, so we got in Slugfest. I guess Overkill is fair too. All right, little off-white T-Rex boy. So it's not technically a T-Rex. Don't jump at me. Don't jump at me. Okay, 3 Cybertronian in a row. So these are random, but sometimes like it's supposed to be random. But acknowledging that like systems like this can only be so random. So I'm gonna re-roll if we keep hitting the same ones over and over. I was gonna jinx myself and say we've been getting along pretty good as far as the names go. No one's repeated yet. Now we get like 3 Cybertronian in a row. But we gotta turn Overkill into a car. I feel like this is a cue for like an old school muscle car, like big exposed engine, like something that looks like it'd be good on a drag strip. Not only because it like fits the personality of that kind of like dinosaur in the first place, but also just because like we're getting across dinosaur, so old car, right? Like doesn't that fit, that fits thematically for me. I will go with that. That feels correct. So that's again, that's not too hard. That's not too hard. You would think that turning a T-Rex into a car would be difficult, but I feel like that fits the vibe. I feel like that fits the vibe overall. And Overkill is something you can absolutely use to describe some of those custom hot rods with like gigantic exhausts and exposed engines that are taller than the roof of the car is. Okay, we're back to Slugfest. All right, one more for the Stegosaurus. What do we turn him into this time? Ooh, something military. Nice, nice, something military. Okay. My immediate thought is a missile truck. Not only because, again, you can kind of get, like, and I'm talking one of those, like, oh, what was his name? Did we call like a Hunt for the Decepticons Transformer? Oh, Mindset, I think. I think the name was Mindset. But it's that kind. It's that kind. Or Cybertron Defense Scattershot. That's a better example. That's a more well-known example. That kind of missile truck, where it's just a heavy, armored, flat vehicle with a gigantic missile battery stuck to the back of it. Not only because I feel like low to the ground and on treads fits the Stegosaurus vibe, but also because you do kind of get like a semblance of those plates across the back from the missiles themselves. It's a bit of a stretch imagination wise, but I feel like we can get there a little bit. I feel like it's enough to get there. You know, military vehicles not known for melee weaponry, not known for defensive blades or anything. But I think that fits. I think that works pretty well. All right, spinning once again. Who do you got this time? We doing Laserbeak and Buzzsaw? We're doing Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. Okay. So a little bit stealthier, a little bit more sneaky. What do we do for sneaky stuff? If it was Jet, I already had an answer. Oh no, I had an answer for a motorcycle too. Oh, I had an answer for motorcycle too instead. I got aquatic. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh, what do I do here for aquatic? Making them into any kind of like underwater stealth vehicle, like I wouldn't like I would never depict them as like submarines, like one-man submersibles, but that doesn't fit their personality. It doesn't fit the overall vibe of the characters. This would almost have to just be like small attack boats. Like not like military vehicle type attack boat, more like militia type attack boat. Like someone looks like a speedboat with mounted weaponry. That's where my mind is going right now. Something that looks improvised. Like nothing official. Almost like modern pirates would have. That kind of vehicle. That kind of like speedboat with guns. Speedboat with guns is where my brain is taking me on that one. I think that fits in a roundabout way. I mean, it's weird to call a boat a Laserbeak, but, you know, we've had weirder. We'll get over it. Okay, back to Overkill? Back to Overkill. Nice, 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 nice. Pouring one out for, like, Steeljaw and Ramhorn. I don't know why Steeljaw got a green wedge, by the way. I thought I made his gold. Okay, so, all right. More dinosaurs. This is very much favoring the dinosaur cassettes. So who do we have? What do we have? Oh no! Oh, it tipped over. It just barely tipped over. Okay, so if I'm making Slugfest some kind of if I'm making Slugfest some kind of like wheel excavator, like some kind of trench digger, then I think it's appropriate to make his partner like a more authentic excavator, something with like a really long arm and big jaw at the end of it. You know, the usual kind of like just take a bite out of the earth and drag it somewhere type vehicle. This is again going into construction, which I just said, oh, I don't think cassettes could make good construction vehicles. I've already come up with two. Now, this is following in the footsteps of already taking a character like Grimlock and making him into an excavator. Granted, Grimlock in name only, but still, it's there. It's vaguely connected. But we also did it with we also made a raptor into an excavator. So I think it's okay. And that's the kind of one I would be thinking of. Not like an earth excavator, you know, obviously not, but like something that emphasizes that gigantic jaw. Some of this is like treads, two halves, and then just one gigantic massive arm that makes up like the entire center of the vehicle mode and just like lurches up in this huge neck and giant maw on the end of it. That's where my brain is thinking as far as like Cybertronian excavator, which is where I would let Overkill live. Okay, let's give me something other than the Dino Boys. Give us something other than the Dino Boys. We're doing Ravage again. Okay, just confirm. Yep, Ravage. All right, an alt mode for Ravage. We've already had plenty of alt modes for Ravage. God. I'm going to just cut this short and tell you that Alternators already came up with the perfect one, and it ain't the tracks retool, it's the fact that they turned him into a Jaguar who turns into a Jaguar. This one we don't need to do because it's been done twice over already, so we'll just go ahead and give both a spin, figure out something else to pick. Who do we get? Ramhorn. We got Ramhorn. Nice, 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 nice. All right, so Rhino's gonna be fun to work with. We're back to car. Okay, okay, well, cars, there's not a lot of cars known for ramming things. Cars are generally not good at ramming. So instead, what we have to work with is, my only thought here goes to like demolition derby. You know, cars that do have extra armor in the front, maybe a few extra spikes, looking a little bit Mad Max, reinforced front end things, like the only cars I can think of that are designed to just ram and just crash into things. Not the only way I can replicate a Rhino with an actual car. You know, a truck I could get away with. I could figure something out, but a car, I don't know, that's about the only place I can go. I don't think it's a bad place, though. Maybe a little bit junky looking from Ramhorn, but hey, a Rhino's got to work with what a Rhino's got to work with. It's going Eject and Rewind again. The Eject and Rewind are pretty basic boys. Like, I feel like I can just kind of, like, meld them into just about anything at this point. As the game now tests me. Helicopter. Again, going by their function and how they're typically depicted, I think newscopters are about the best thing you could possibly imagine on these guys. Something where it looks like they have built-in weapons that are actually cameras. You know, like a filming camera that is stuck out to the side that in robot mode you'd flip out a barrel from. That would be like the mindset. Newscopters tend to be rather on the small side too, so it's not like they're getting into mixed up with like, you know, Vortex or anything as a military helicopter. Okay, that one was actually surprisingly, I'm actually surprised at how quick that idea came to my head. Ooh, Steeljaw got it. Steeljaw's getting one, okay. In his green wedge that wasn't supposed to be green. It was supposed to be gold. Okay, what do we turn Steeljaw into? Ooh. Space vehicle. Now, fortunately, he already has some nice details that lend themselves to being a space vehicle. Namely, his weapons, for some reason, have these gigantic wings attached to them. So, in turning him into some kind of space vehicle, spaceship of some kind, to go a little bit more sci-fi with it, it would be kind of in the vein of like Vector Prime's toys usually end up as. Some kind of like small-ish spacecraft that has solar fins off the sides as wings. So that, you know, that you could actually like depict as the guns and wings that come off the side of the Lion mode. You would have to make it a little bit of a fighter ship. I will admit that. So it's not going to be totally like Alpha Trion and Vector Prime style vehicle, but the semblance is there. Like the root of it is there. Beyond that, I don't know, like maybe a little bit thicker, because like Steeljaw comes off a little bit thicker than your usual your usual characters in the cassettes. All right, I think I got time for one, maybe two more, depending on what comes up. So let's give these a spin, see what we can imagine together. If you're coming up with your own, by the way, let me know in the comments. That would be fun to figure out what you guys were thinking of. Oh, Beastbox. Okay. I like how much variety we've gotten. Beastbox as a motorcycle. Now, the fun part is a motorcycle, like, immediately I think custom chopper. Immediately I think custom chopper. Because, like, the forks, like, that front end on a custom chopper come off like those gigantic arms on a gorilla. you could fashion that to work that way, where like the body and the legs are like the bulk of the rear of like the body of the motorcycle, but you know, thicken up that front end and those arms so that you can actually get a gorilla out of that. You know, and I would keep him like gorilla proportioned, by the way. Like, I haven't really discussed whether or not these guys would turn into like the animal that they transform into, or if we'd be going full BotCon Laserbeak, alternator Ravage 1.0, and just say like they turn into a normal looking transformer. But this one, in this regard, he would be like heavy armed, long armed at the very least. I would try to keep some gorillas. He'd be kind of like Crumple Zone, Cybertron Crumple Zone proportions. So he still kind of keeps that semblance in there. Okay, I'm going to do one more because I think like I want to say the only one that hasn't come up on this list in any way, shape, or form is Ratbat. You know what? Since we've had such a good run of these, I'm going to do one last one, and I'm just going to automatically set it to Ratbat. Okay, so we will not leave him out since this has been such a good spread. So let's see what we get to turn Ratbat into for the final decision here. I was going to say, Ratbat as a truck would be mental. Ratbat as a truck would be mental. We got a jet, though. We got a jet. So the thing with Ratbat is because of his method of flight, the flapping and gliding rather than Laserbeak and Buzzsaw that fly with jet propulsion, Ratbat always comes across a lot stealthier. So we've seen him as a flying wing, and that makes sense for the bat. We've seen him as spaceships, etc. But what I would do with him, if I was picking an Earth mode, would be some kind of flying drone, more along the lines of Transformers Prime Soundwave. So if you remember Ratbat from War Within, where he was like more like normal proportion, a little bit more, not I was gonna say normal proportion, but like a little bit more gangly, a little bit longer. Think that when you look at the alt mode for Soundwave and his like how he transforms, this kind of like put that Ratbat style, like Senator Ratbat head instead of what you're looking at normally on that toy. And that's where my brain goes. So stealth, like a stealth probe, stealth, like flying stealth drone. That would be where Ratbat would live for me. And that, I believe, is going to be my time. We've gone over 20 minutes on this. We managed to, like, through pure, like, okay, yeah, we flubbed the last one just to get Ratbat in there. But I'm actually really happy we covered just about everybody there. And no one really stumped me. And I think the mercy of this wheel in that for not giving me, like, van SUV, like, or truck, which would have been a lot harder on some of these. And that's why I like about this game. That's why I have fun doing this, because it's a test of my improv skills. It's a test of my imagination. And it's important to test your imagination. So, as always, let me know what you thought of the combos in the comments below. If you had a better idea for one, please let me know. And of course, if you like this format, hit like on it, leave comments. The numbers tell me if this is something you want me to do more often. So, with all that said, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.